Hello and welcome to the Tundra Chat software testing project presented by Josh Ranger, Matt Riley, and Julia Rocher.
So here is our class diagram. Since we are using HTML and JavaScript, a traditional class diagram was difficult to make because it is dealt with object-oriented design. However, we created a modified class diagram while referencing the book Web Building Applications with UML. So as you can see in our class diagram, it is structured to show the language being utilized in the corresponding files. The arrows point to the files that are being referenced by the main files. Included in the class diagram are the main functions found in the JavaScript files. These functions interact with other files and with Firebase.
The name that is being set to the room is actually equal to the name when we retrieve the name again from that same room ID. Our second test makes sure that two chat rooms that are created do not have the same room ID. The code is here. Two rooms are being created, and we are checking if they are not equal to. Our next test is testing if a room name does not exist and it is created incorrectly. So we are setting the room to just a blank space, and we expect the test room name to be equal to null. This test is testing that Tundra data is able to store messages sent through the Tundra interface. So if you see here, we have a test where a message is being sent of ID this and string this, and we should be able to get that expected result being the same. Next test case, test to make sure that the message is being sent to the right room. So it sends a message to the room right here, and it expects the message to show up in that room. Next test if a message is being sent as null, that it will not send correctly. So we are checking if the message being sent is null. This next test is testing the requirement at which Tundra data must be able to store user data. So in the test method itself, we are creating a user, and then we are expecting the username of that user to be the one it was set up with. Test case is testing to make sure that no two users can be made with the same ID. So we are creating two users here. They're being randomized with their ID, and we are making sure that they are not equal there. Next test case is testing to make sure that if a user is created with null, it does not allow it to be created with null. Next bit of test cases are test cases related to our integration testing. So for our integration testing to work, we have to establish the Firebase app, create an object of the actual file, and then from here we're spying on different functions, testing them. So this is create a room, checking that they're called correctly. This one down here, checking if name, checking to have been called correctly. These are just our calls. Checking that parameters are being sent correctly, and if certain parameters are sent, there are checks for that. So this is what all these tests actually encapsulate.
Okay, so now we're going to run our unit and integration tests, and in order to do that, you just simply type karma start, and the way that karma is configured is you run all of our tests at once in the Chrome browser. Done. And it creates this index.html file inside of a coverage folder that has all of our results, which are here. So for our unit tests, we have 8.24% coverage. Our integration tests, we have 15.08% coverage. And overall, we have 15.29% coverage. And the reason these numbers are so low is because of how the FireChat API, which is what we're using, is built. It's an API that's built on top of the Firebase SDK, which was designed to let people communicate with Firebase. Because of that, we don't have access to a lot of the methods that the FireChat API uses. So while we can use those methods for testing purposes, we can't get into those inner workings and get that coverage that comes with being able to dig into there.
Thank you for watching our demo of Tundra Chat.